Good morning. Now, I'm going to show you how to make our favorite potato recipe. We do it every Christmas, every Thanksgiving, and that kind of thing. And I'm going to start off by asking my executive producer how she likes it.
Oh, okay. They're the best ever. They are the best ever.
Okay, at that, let's roll the music, and then we'll come back and do it. Now, this is real simple, and there's kind of a story behind it, like most things. Now, I'm starting off with a half, because I'm doing a half recipe here. This is a half a block of cream cheese. And I'm going to, as I do this, I'm going to kind of explain where I got this recipe. Several years ago, Thanksgiving was coming up, like it is now, and I was going to do the family dinner. But I didn't have that year very many people. There was only 3 or 4. And I was talking to this young lady, and I was kind of talking about how, you know, it's kind of too bad that you know, you got to make all these different dishes. And we in particular talked about mashed potatoes and sweet potatoes. And you have to make all these different dishes. And really, I wasn't making enough of any one thing to make it worthwhile. And so it was just kind of a pain. And this lady said, oh, well, you know, her mama used to mash the two together. And I thought, well, that kind of simplifies things, and I can see how that'd work. Then, but it just so happened that that particular week, you know, a couple of days ahead of time, I had watched this show on Cooking Network. And they were talking about this recipe, that their signature thing was their mashed potatoes, and they showed how they made them. So I thought, well, let's incorporate these two. And we were just amazed at how it turned out, and I've made it ever since. If there's one recipe of mine that you try, this needs to be the one. All right. Now I've got about 2.5 pounds of potatoes in there, half a stick of cream cheese, and now I'm putting in butter. And you notice I did not say margarine. I'm putting in some butter. This is a thing that you're not going to make every day. I'm going to use about a half a stick. Now comes the part where we burn our fingers. Now these are sweet potatoes. And I want about 1 pound or so. When I asked that lady, you know, if she remembered any details how her mama did it, she said, well, she puts in more Irish potatoes than she does sweet potato, but I don't remember just exactly. But she went on as to how good they were. And so I thought, okay, well, you know, I'm going to give this a shot. So we're going to try to get us about 1 pound or a little more to go with this 2.5 pounds of Irish potatoes. Get them in there. This is always kind of the hard part, because nothing is hotter than a sweet potato that comes out of the microwave. That sugar content really makes that heat burn you. All right. Well, one more. The place I buy my sweet potatoes, my groceries, did not have any nice sweet potatoes. They have these little bags of little bitty sweet potatoes, so it makes this a little more painstaking, maybe. All right, now, and I've made, you don't have to have a fancy mixer. I've made them with just a potato masher by hand. So don't feel like that's something that stops you from doing it, because it doesn't need to. Dropped a piece and I needed that. Okay, counter's clean, I just wiped it off. So, we're going to put this in here and start them to mixing a little bit. Now, one thing I want to tell you here, we're not putting any milk into this recipe, okay? As these mix together and the sour cream and all that mixes, we're gonna top it off with sour cream. All right. And like I say, that's just how they did it in this restaurant, and I just can't tell you enough how pleased we were with how it turned out. All right. That's a little dry, so we'll add in the sour cream. And I apologize for not having exact measurements. I mean, I don't measure hardly anything. Now, tiny bit of salt, not a lot, just a little. Okay. I'm gonna stop, scrape the bowl down, make sure that I don't have a bunch of stuff that's not getting incorporated. And it doesn't appear that I do. Everything's coming out. Everything's doing all right. Now you can put as much or as little sweet potato in these as you wish. Just up to you, up to your own taste. This could have used maybe a little bit more. Usually when I make a full recipe, I do 5 pounds of Irish potatoes, and then I'll put in, say, I'll put a little bit more sour cream. Then I'll put in maybe 2.5 pounds of the sweet potatoes. So, but it's, you know, whatever suits your taste and your family. All right, I think that's going to get it. Just let that mix in, and then we'll put them in the bowl. Okay, that's sufficient. Now, the high point of this that I was amazed with the first time that I made them was the color. It just struck me as just being pretty. Just something that had a unique, let's go for a different tool here. That's not going to be quite stout. Just had a unique look. It was pretty. On Thanksgiving meal, you know, so often most everything is sort of a shade of brown. So it was nice to have this nice, bright, colorful thing. Okay, so there it is. It's tasty. You'll love it, and it's pretty. It's an interesting addition to holiday. Hey, knock that off. So if you're having a family meal together and somebody says, "Hey, what do you want to bring?" I'll bring the mashed potatoes. All right, you all have a quality day.